Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick little time lapse. Got this lovely turnip on pastel mat. You can see me doing the outline here. Copy your paper, pastel on the back, tape it up, and then just take a pencil and trace any of the lines that you want. Easy peasy. So I'm working on 20 centimeters squared. As I mentioned, this is the pastel mat paper. I generated the image using Midjourney AI bot. Because when you buy turnip at the shops, seldom has it got the leaves or the roots. So I find it quite, and I don't grow my own. I do want to grow my own vegetables, but I will get there, but I'm not there yet. So using an AI program can be really, really helpful. So putting in the background there, I like the background. Everything about this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted moody lighting and quite dramatic lighting, very Rembrandt style writing, chiaroscuro, I think is the word. So in the background, coming in with pastels, of course, my soft pastels, because they will lay down a lot of color very quickly versus a pastel pencil or a hard pastel. So I tend to do my backgrounds using the softer sticks. Also being mindful to bring a little bit of light. You can see that you've got some red tones down on the bottom right. Making sure it's lighter value than what there is on the left. And oh, the sun was coming in into my studio, so I had to cover it up. It was in the right direction though, because it was the same direction as what my image was. So usually I get all the background in first, and then I start the actual subject. Here I moved on to the body of the turnip, and I left the leaves till a little bit later on. Doesn't really matter, you know, it's what you fancy doing. There's no, I generally do always get in the background first. That's how I start. And then I move on to the subject. Yeah, I haven't finished the subject. I've moved on to the table. So it's a really quick way to get quite an impact is when you've got this dark and light, a very simple background with a very simple table that the turnip is sitting on. And it can give you this drama very quickly because all you need to do is add a little bit of light onto that table, and it just comes alive and it gives this moodiness, which is what I was after. So using a mixture of pastel pencils also in here as always. I find the pastel pencils, it's easier to get it in between, like between the turnip root and the shadow of the turnip root was a very small space. So pastel pencils come in really handy because I've got such small points. You can really get some details in there. So hear me coming in with some light still, that the sun was like driving me batty in the nicest way, because whenever the sun shines it is a wonderful thing here in the UK, but for recording purposes not so much. So the leaves, I kept the leaves very, very loose. I didn't go into high detail at all like what you can see in the reference photograph. I'm literally just making strokes with the pastel stick and leaving those strokes as they are. Using a mixture of greens, I always find using blue toned greens as well as yellow toned greens really helps make a foliage look more realistic. So I've got a mixture of greens, like I said, making sure my tonal values are good, that I've got some nice dark greens, some mid-tone greens, as well as some highlights. That's really important to get the 3D effect. You know, I want this piece to look like it has volume. You know, I want it to look 3D and I don't want it to look flat. So always very conscious of my tonal values. But you can check this out over on Patreon. I'll leave a description in the link below because this will be real time. Like I said, it took me just over an hour to do. But that's all for now. And thanks for watching this little short one, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.